Hey YouTube, Kira Twig here, bringing you all an update to my Penguin Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile for post-Burst of Destiny. With the release of Burst of Destiny, we were given the Penguin cards that appeared on the Penguin Brave Synchro Monster, a card we got a while back. These different cards add immense support to the Penguin deck as a whole, leading to the actual playstyle that I think was meant to, be used to summon out your go-to Synchro Monster, including the newest tuner monster, Penguin Squire, and a bunch of other monsters. There are still a couple monsters on the Penguin Brave Synchro Monster that we may get in the future. I think it's 2 other monsters. So until then, we'll have to work with the 3 that we got from this pack, which, like I said, awesome support that just helps with the overall playstyle of the Penguin deck. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So starting off with one of the newest cards for the deck, we are running 3 Penguin Squire. It is an Aqua Tuner monster. It cannot be used as synchro material except for the synchro summon of a water monster. If a monster is set on your field except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then you can reduce its level by 1 or 2. You can target 1 face down defense position monster you control, change it to face up defense position, and if you do, its effects are negated unless it is a Penguin monster. You can only use each effect of Penguin Squire once per turn. So this card is your go-to setup card to get out your go-to synchro monster, which is Penguin Brave, a level 6 synchro monster. So depending on the type of penguin you have on the field, reducing this card's level by 1 or 2 can help to just have the requirements needed for that synchro summon. And running 3 of this is definitely staple use set, more penguins than not for all your different plays. And this card can just lead to the initial setup of that playstyle you were meant to do with those penguin monsters. One of those penguin monsters being your Penguin Soldier. We are running 3 of this card. It is one of the oldest penguins in the deck with a flip effect. If you can target up to 2 monsters on the field, return those targets to the hand. So I'll go over the straight up go-to combo that you use with your Penguin Soldier and your Penguin Squire at the end of the video. It is meant for the synchro play, but also just being able to utilize Penguin Soldier on the turn that you set it as well. I like running 3 of this card. It's just a card that can definitely help to stop your opponent's plays, just even if they attack into it, taking care of 2 cards they have on the field. And one of the other 3 ofs that I run in the deck is Nope Penguin. With this card, during either player's turn, when an effect of a penguin monster is activated, special summon this card from your graveyard. You can use this effect of Nope Penguin once per turn. If this card be returned from the field to the hand by the effect of a penguin card, banish it instead. So with this card, having that option, most of the time you want to just use it as that special summon card to then use with a synchro play. It is an easy special summon from the graveyard, so if you set up Nope Penguin there that much quickly, with cards like Foolish Burial, it's just an added bonus altogether, and it's just consistency. You have that special summon or just another penguin you can set up on the field, setting it to then use with your Penguin Squire. For some of the lower numbers for the penguin monsters we run, I also run 2, the Great Emperor Penguin. You contribute this card to special summon up to 2 penguin monsters from your deck except for the Great Emperor Penguin. So this includes your Penguin Squire. There's no restrictions on how to summon this card out, so just tributing it and summoning it. They didn't really have too many other penguin high-level cards aside from the Great Emperor Penguin, so this is just an added plus, and also a great card to utilize with your spell card we got in this pack as well, the Royal Penguin's Garden. But I only really feel you need 2 of this card. It's a searchable card thanks to that card, and I feel that's all you'd really need to use this card with. Some of the other lower numbers, including one of the newest cards we got from the Burst of Destiny booster set, is Penguin Ninja. With a flip, you can target up to 2 spell or trap cards your opponent controls and return them to the hand. And you can target 1 penguin monster you control, change it to face down defense position. You can only use this effect of Penguin Ninja once per turn. It's not a quick effect, so you have to use it during your turn, but it's just a great way to recycle your Penguin Soldier on the field. But you can also use it as a set with your Penguin Squire to summon and flip up, and then reduce the level of your Penguin Squire by 2, giving you the 2 monsters needed for the level 6 synchro of Penguin Brave. It's a situational card, and your opponent doesn't always have spell and traps to use. That's why I'm only running 2 of this card. And then for some additional level monsters with our penguins, I also run 2 Puny Penguin, this level 1 monster when it's sent from the field to the graveyard after being flipped face up. Target 1 penguin monster in your graveyard except Puny Penguin, special summon it and face up attack or face down defense position. So with this card as another flip setup, it gives you consistency with your Penguin Squire to then set up more and more different penguins on your field. So this card is really your go-to card, utilizing it for many of your different plays, but it's usable with all the different level penguin penguin monsters since you can reduce its level and have additional plays with those different penguins. I'll go over a good number of the combos at the end of the video, but for some of the other lower numbers, I run 1 Glacial Beast Polar Penguin and 1 Penguin Cleric, the last of the new penguin monsters from the Burst of Destiny set. If a penguin monster is sent from your monster zone to the graveyard by an opponent's card, even during the damage step, you can target one of them, discard this card, and special summon that monster in face down defense position. You can only use this effect with Penguin Cleric once per turn, and once per turn you can target one penguin monster you control. It gains 600 attack until the end of this turn. It's a power boost card and also gaining additional life, but I mostly use it as a search card with the Royal Penguin's Garden, having it in my hand ready to use when one of my penguin monsters would leave the field. And Glacial Beast Polar Penguin is just a level 3 tuner monster for a special summon option of an opponent's card to return to the hand when it is special summoned onto the field. And that is it for the monsters for the main deck. Now moving on to the spells. I run 3 of the Royal Penguin's Garden. When this card is activated, you can add 1 penguin card from your deck to your hand, except for Royal Penguin's Garden. And once per turn during the main phase, you can decrease the level of 1 penguin you control in your hand or face up on the field until the end of this turn. Then discard 1 card. You can only activate 1 Royal Penguin's Garden once per turn. So this card was meant to be used greatly with the Great Emperor Penguin. Reducing its level by 1 means you don't have to tribute for this card, and you can even discard more setup cards in the graveyard to summon out onto the field. It is a continuous spell. It really does feel like a field spell, but it is a continuous spell that you use with the deck, just being able to have that initial setup. It works very, very well for searching out any of the penguins you need, whether it be Penguin Cleric or even just your Penguin Squire to set off the good majority of your plays. For more special summoning from the hand, so we can access the extra deck that much quickly, I run 3 Water Hazard once per turn. If you control no monsters, you can special summon 1 level 4 lower water monster from your hand. So comboed with the Royal Penguin's Garden, with this card, you can add 1 penguin from your deck to your hand, accept it. And once per turn, during your main phase, you can decrease the level of 1 penguin monster in your hand. So controlling no monsters and then decreasing that level can make the Great Emperor Penguin a level 4 that you can special summon off of Water Hazard onto the field, not taking up your normal summon thanks to this card, as long as you control no other monsters. Then still saving your additional plays with your Penguin Squire and your other penguins, taking up the normal summon set you'll use with those monsters while still having the Great Emperor Penguin that you contribute to then special summon other cards from the deck onto the field also. For more of the search power in the deck, I also like to run 3 Fury of Karyushin. You add 1 Torrential Tribute from your deck to your hand. If a water monster you control will be destroyed by a card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. You can only use each effect of Fury of Karyushin once per turn. So we only run water monsters in the main deck, so this can protect any of those cards. And we add Torrential Tribute, which can destroy our opponent's monsters, using then Fury of Karyushin to protect those penguins on the field that would be destroyed by a card effect. Even if it's not Torrential Tribute, having this option to protect them from an opponent's card effect is just an added bonus using 3 of this card, because we can also use Foolish Burial Goods to send it to the graveyard for that protection play, even if we don't want to add the Torrential Tributes. And I also run 3 Book of Moon. This is just a great card that can disrupt your opponent's plays, but also reset up your penguin plays. If you didn't go for the synchro play, if you have a penguin soldier on the field that you flip face up, you can allow Book of Moon to send it back onto the field if you don't have Penguin Squire or anything else that can do so. For some of the lower numbers for the spells, I also run 2 Foolish Burial Goods. This is in here for the setup of Fury of Karyushin in the graveyard for you to protect your water monsters from being destroyed by card effects. And for the 1-ofs for the spells, I run 1 Foolish Burial, more graveyard setup for our different penguins. Most of the time my target will be Nope Penguin. 1 Monster Reborn for more resources back onto the field. Great Emperor Penguin as a Monster Reborn target especially. And 1 Call by the Grave. There are a lot of special summons that our opponent may try to stop. An example being the Great Emperor Penguin, so having this as just an added option to stop hand traps is why I like to run 1 of this card in the deck. And that is it for the spells. Moving on now to the traps, we run 3 Torrential Tributes, and so we can have a target, if need be, for each of the Fury of Karyushin, but this card's destruction play can stop a good number of our opponent's summons, but still protect our own penguin monsters, thanks to the Fury of Karyushin option in the deck. And lastly, I thought of running Ash Blossom, but I wanted to stick to a water-only lineup, so I am running the 3 Infinite Impermanence, another card that was made easier to get thanks to the Cyber Strike structure deck, so that's why I'm including it more in the deck profiles. Just a great way to stop our opponent's monster effects, especially ones that would disrupt our own penguin plays before we can use them against our opponents. And that is it for the main deck. We'll now move on to the extra deck. For the Synchro monster, we're running 3 Penguin Brave. You need 1 tuner and 1 non-tuner monster. Your opponent cannot target face-down defense position monsters you control with card effects. You can only use each of the following effects of Penguin Brave once per turn. If this card is Synchro Summon, you can special summon 1 Penguin monster from your deck in face-down defense position. And when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can flip 1 face-down defense position monster on the field you control face-up. So this can activate our Penguin effects. Then that also is what I like to utilize Book of Moon for, to then reset those cards back into the field. Your Penguin Soldier is not a once per turn, so if you flip it up thanks to Penguin Brave, and then flip it down again thanks to Book of Moon, having the option to flip it up again the following turn and just keep on returning more and more different monsters our opponent control, or even better, Penguin Ninja if they have a lot of different spell or traps on the field, with the same premise thanks to Penguin Brave. For some of the other generic water support, I also run 1 Bryonic Dragon of the Ice Barrier and 1 Coral Dragon. Both these are water monsters that can easily be summoned out thanks to the level 6 play, or even 1 Gungnir Dragon of the Ice Barrier being a level 7 monster. So even if we reduce the number of our Penguin Squire just by 1 and we have another level 3, or don't reduce it at all, we have a level 2, we still have the target to go into this Synchro monster and not limited at all by its water play since it is a water monster. For the Link monsters, I run 2 Miss Starboy, a power boost for our Penguin monsters on the field, and also recycle power, thanks to the option to add back the water monster from our graveyard to our hand. And also 2 Marine Cess Coral Anemone for the water special summon, for the option to then go into more monsters using those monsters on the field. And also 1 Crystron Halqifibrax. This is the target for our Glacial Beast Penguin to summon onto the field as an added resource, using our Penguin Squire as the other tuner for the Link play. And 1 Area the Water Charmer Gentle, 1 Barricade Board Blocker to recycle the continuous spell, 1 Underclock Taker to lower down some of the attack of our opponent's monsters we may need to get over with our Synchro monsters. And for the Xyz monsters, just the 1 totally awesome Penguin Soldier being a Aqua level 2. If we have 2 of these on the field, being able to overlay into a totally awesome is always an added benefit for sure, to stop a negate of one of our opponents using our own negate. And then as for the go-to plays in the deck, like I spoke of, if we have the variety of Penguin monsters in our hand and the Penguin Squire, including the Penguin Ninja as one of the new cards to add, with our Penguin Squire, which we can add to our hand thanks to our new continuous spell, the Royal Penguin's Garden. When you activate it, you add the Penguin of choice. So depending on what Penguin you have in your hand, activating this continuous spell to add a Penguin card from your deck to your hand, except for Royal Penguin's Garden. And with it, the decreased level is an added option, but most of the time, if you just activate and add your Penguin Squire, having the Penguin of choice, you will set your Penguin monster, special summoning Squire out onto the field, flipping up that Penguin, and then having the option of the reduced level for Squire. If you wanted to reduce it by 1 with Penguin Soldier, then you go for your level 6 Synchro play, which is your Penguin Brave. And also with this card, when it is summoned once per turn, if this card Synchro summoned, to special summon a Penguin monster from your deck in face down defense position. So with it then, you can set up another Penguin on the field for you to use, also using the quick effect to flip it face up, giving you that option of that Penguin monster. And if you go for another Penguin, you can summon out your Great Emperor Penguin, flipping it up, and then using the tribute to give you 2 more Penguins on the field, which then can be used for additional extra deck plays, depending on what type of monster you summon out. If you go for the Miss Starboy, that card can be then used to power up your Penguin Brave on the field, up to 2,900 attack, which can hit over a good number of cards. And when the Miss Starboy is sent to the graveyard, giving you recycle power for one of your water monsters in the graveyard, which then you can just repeat the cycle again, setting that monster, summoning out your Squire, flipping up that monster. And if it's a card like Puny Penguin, when it's sent from the graveyard after being flipped face up, you target a Penguin monster in your graveyard, except Puny Penguin special summon it. So going forward, that Link play with these cards gives you that recycle power of another Penguin in your graveyard to then recycle and reuse against your opponents. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I believe it was 2 packs ago when we got the Penguin Brave, but thanks to, actually, yeah, Phantom Rage even, but it's definitely been a while, and we'll probably see some more support for Penguins in the future. It's definitely that fan favorite deck, and I can't wait to see what else they do for the deck. But until then, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.